The sun has set. Darkness spreads over the prehistoric world, a vast and unforgiving landscape. For our earliest ancestors, the night was not a time of rest and dreams. It was a relentless test of survival, an ordeal to be endured. Imagine it. No fire to warm your hands, no walls to shield you from the elements, and no weapons strong enough to truly confront the apex predators that ruled the darkness. The night was a canvas of unseen dangers and palpable fear. In this episode, we will journey back in time, following the incredible challenges and ingenious strategies that early humans developed to survive the long, perilous hours of darkness. This is more than just a story of fear. It is the story of human resilience, of community, and of how we, as a species, learned to conquer the night. The moment the last sliver of sun vanished below the horizon, a profound and terrifying transformation occurred. The world they knew by day became an alien territory, a kingdom of shadows where they were no longer the masters. Out there, in the whispering grasslands and dense forests, lions, hyenas, and saber-toothed cats began their hunt. Their eyes, adapted for the gloom, glowed like malevolent embers in the distance. Their movements were silent, their strength overwhelming. To be caught alone, away from the relative safety of the group, after dusk meant an almost certain and brutal end. Early humans, with senses that were feeble compared to these nocturnal hunters, were at a severe disadvantage. They couldn't see far into the oppressive blackness. Every rustle in the grass, every snap of a distant twig, every unfamiliar sound could signal an approaching predator. The air itself seemed thick with tension. This constant, gnawing fear was a torment, but it was also a powerful teacher. It taught them to be vigilant, to move with absolute silence, and to understand the critical need for safety in numbers. The night was not merely an absence of light. It was the dominion of those who were built for it, a realm where our ancestors were the prey. To endure this nightly siege, early humans had to become masters of their environment, seeking protection within the very landscape that threatened them. Their survival depended on finding a defensible shelter before the sun went down. Caves became the first fortresses, their solid rock walls offering a barrier against the outside world. Deep, narrow entrances could be more easily defended, creating a choke point against any would-be attacker. High cliffs and inaccessible rocky crevices offered natural high ground, providing a vantage point to spot danger approaching from afar. Even dense thickets of trees and thorny bushes could provide a degree of concealment, a place to hide and wait out the long hours of darkness. Groups that were fortunate enough to find and secure these shelters had a much higher chance of seeing the next sunrise. But these prime locations were highly coveted, and competition was fierce. Humans often had to fight other animals, like cave bears or packs of hyenas, for control of the best spots. Imagine the sheer terror and courage required to confront a massive bear at the mouth of a cave, armed with nothing but rocks and sharpened sticks. Winning that battle meant safety for your family. Losing meant annihilation. Slowly, generation by generation, humans learned to adapt, modifying and reinforcing these natural shelters, turning the landscape itself into a strategic defense against the horrors of the night. In this world of constant threat, being alone was a death sentence. Survival was a team sport, and together the odds shifted ever so slightly in their favor. As darkness fell, our ancestors would gather in tight, defensive groups. They learned to create circles of vigilance, a living wall of eyes and ears against the encroaching dark. While some would try to get a few moments of precious, fitful rest, others would remain awake, on watch, their senses strained to catch any whisper of danger. This simple act of taking turns of communal guard duty was often the difference between life and death. The group acted as a collective shield. A dozen pairs of eyes could see more than one. A dozen pairs of ears could better pinpoint the source of a sound. And courage, a resource that could easily fail an individual, grew stronger when shared among the many. It was in these tense, shared vigils, huddled together for warmth and security, that the powerful bonds of trust and cooperation were forged. They learned to rely on one another, not just as a family unit, but as a community with a shared purpose to survive. This was a profound lesson. Surviving the night wasn't just about individual protection. It was about the strength found in unity. The very fabric of human society was woven in the darkness, thread by thread, through shared fear and mutual dependence. Over tens of thousands of years, survival strategies became more sophisticated. Our ancestors' greatest asset was their minds. They were toolmakers. A simple stone, when broken and sharpened, became an extension of the hand, a crude but effective weapon for stabbing and cutting. Long, straight branches were sharpened into wooden spears, giving them a precious few feet of distance from a lunging predator. And then came the true game-changer, fire. Once mastered, the torch was more than just a source of light and warmth. It was a weapon. The dancing flames brought light into the deepest shadows and, more importantly, instilled fear in the eyes of the very predators that had haunted them. A wall of fire was a barrier no hyena would dare to cross. Even before they fully mastered the art of making fire at will, humans used everything they had at their disposal. They would throw stones in a coordinated volley, wield heavy branches as clubs, and shout in unison, creating a cacophony of sound designed to intimidate and scare off attackers. These early tools and tactics, however simple they might seem to us now, were revolutionary. They marked the first definitive steps in humanity's long battle to push back against the dominion of the night. Technology wasn't born from idle curiosity or a desire for comfort. It was forged in the crucible of desperation, driven by the fundamental, primal need to live to see another sunrise. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the distant past. If you found this story of survival as fascinating as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into human history. Let us know in the comments what you think was the most crucial factor for surviving the prehistoric night. We'll see you in the next video.